We're back with the Fox News Alert. We now have new insight into the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago and the scope of the DOJ's investigation, thanks to Florida Judge Eileen Cannon. Today, she released a detailed list of what the FBI seized from President Trump's home as she continues to deliberate whether or not to appoint a special master to review Trump's files. So what did the FBI take? Well, a lot of reading material, a whole bunch of books, over 18 pieces of clothing or gift items, more than 1,500 magazines, press articles, and newspapers. We know the president liked to have those. They also took over 90 completely empty folders that said classified on them or returned to staff secretary military aid. They seized over 11,000 pictures and documents with no classification markings on them. And we already knew about the supposed secret, top secret, and confidential documents they took that weren't stored to their liking, all of which may have already been declassified by President Trump. That's part of what's being litigated, about 100 of those. We got to look at that staged photo the DOJ released Tuesday, the one that the liberal media loves oh so much. The walls are closing in. But the revealing information we learned today is not the inventory list. Ho-hum. We know it was a general search warrant. But actually what the DOJ says about their investigation into the filing released. The DOJ wrote that they've already evaluated all the items they seized. They're now looking into them much further in a much more detailed manner in order to develop, quote, additional evidence as part of the ongoing grand jury probe. So don't lose sight of why they were really there. The presidential records law was just a predicate to enter Mar-a-Lago. The DOJ is now scrubbing through the items looking for new evidence. There's other investigations that they need evidence to find. They used the National Archives to access Mar-a-Lago, but they were interested in finding something else. What could that be? Brett Tolman is a former U.S. attorney and Right on Crime executive director. Brett, what were they actually looking for? So they released the detailed manifest of what they have. Yeah, but they also admit they're looking for other things. What does it mean in your legal mind?
Yeah, I mean, you can see clearly that the Department of Justice is losing the PR battle. So what do? They bring out what they often do when they're behind. They bring out pictures that might inflame those that already hate Donald Trump. They bring out the perp walk type mentality. They have the pictures of the classified cover sheets. But when you back away from it and you look at it, it screams of a case where they had an overbroad search warrant. They gathered everything they possibly could. They don't have clear guidance of what they're looking for. I think they're looking just for everything they possibly can because they're afraid of Donald Trump running again in 2024.
They admitted it. So the Trump team has said, we want a special master because someone should go through this and determine what would actually be applicable to the warrant and what has just been seized so they can look for other things. Yet today, on our network, Bill Barr, a former attorney general, said that appointing a special master is just a red herring. Is it just a red herring, or is it a serious step to try to determine what they should actually have?
Well, two things, Pete. I'm glad you brought up the general warrant. If this is in fact a general warrant, then it's unconstitutional. And that argument is going to be made. And a special master is an objective third party, not involved in the litigation and not part of DOJ. That's why you see the Department of Justice fighting against it. It's unusual for sure. The Attorney General Barr is correct that it's unexpected. He terms it a red herring, but I think it's a little more troublesome for the Department of Justice. They don't want someone else having insight into what they're looking at and having a different opinion. They're used to controlling the narrative.
So they didn't expect this. They're used to controlling the narrative, but then, oh, by the way, this is a former president, so they're forced to show the goods. And when this is what struck me about what came out today. They released the manifest of what's in there, but they admit that they're scrubbing it to look for additional crimes. That's effectively what they admitted they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, Pete, it's not the flex that they think it is. When you usually see a picture of stacks of cash and drugs and weapons, you know, it can inspire you to think that your law enforcement is really taking down a bad guy. Here, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at random documents, empty folders on an individual who was absolutely entitled to look at anything he wanted. And oh, by the way, he can declassify classified material. So this is different than a regular citizen. And I've worked on cases where they possessed unlawfully classified material. This is not that case.
Not that case. Brett Tolman, thank you for your sober analysis. We appreciate it tonight. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.